Hey there, everybody. The liberal world order. What is that? Come on, let's talk about it at the kitchen table. Hey there, everybody. It is good to be with you again on this great Sunday morning. Independence weekend. We're going to be celebrating July 4th on tomorrow, Independence Day, and we're excited to be free from the tyranny of Britain, okay, of England. All right, so we're getting into something that's kind of coinciding with our independence. I have some topics here, a topic here rather, that I want to go through with you about this new thing, or this thing that we've heard about in months and years before, about the liberal world order. Well, before we get into it, I have some videos that I want to queue up for you of our President Biden speaking about this. But first, he's going to be speaking as a vice president. It's about a 56-second video clip of him talking about this in 2017 at the World Economic Forum. So I want to play that first, and then we're going to show you another quick video of some things he was saying as well. So I'm going to take you over to the screen, and we're going to go ahead and play that for you.
Our careful, and I mean careful, attention to building and sustaining the liberal international world order with the United States and Europe at its core was the bedrock of the success the world enjoyed in the second half of the 20th century. An era of expanded liberty, unprecedented economic growth that lifted millions out of poverty. A community of democracies that to this day serves as a fulcrum for our common security and our capacity to address the world's most pressing problems. Strengthening these values that served our community of nations so well for so long, is paramount to retaining the position of leadership the Western nations enjoy and preserving the progress we've made together, and I would argue the health of the remainder of the world.
So you see there, he's talking about this liberal world order. Now, I want to share this with you. It's not the first time they've talked about this. I am not, getting on Biden in no way, shape, or form. This has been talked about as far as I can remember back when President Bush #2 got in office from 2000 to 2008. He spoke about this world order. So this has been in place for many, many, many years. After him, of course, President Obama spoke about it. But then came President Donald Trump. And he came against all of that. And he was about, America first. And we want to be independent from all these other countries, and we need to take care of our business first. And we were all excited about that. We had low gas prices. We had low inflation with low unemployment, and things were great. We weren't fighting any wars. We weren't doing anything. We got rid of ISIS, a whole bunch of stuff. But, the political hierarchy of the world did not like that at all. And that's Republican and Democrat, guys. That's both of them. And all the other parties of the world did not like him, and because he was going against the grain, if you will. And they have this mantra that they've been pushing for many, many years, and they want to set up this one world government. So this is what we're headed to. This is the things that they've been doing, and Trump is trying to get back in, for 2024, and it's going to be a hard road because they are standing against him. They're going to come up, ladies and gentlemen, you watch and see. They're going to come up with all sorts of things to keep him out because they know that he goes against this mantra. But I got another video I want to show about something about, he's talking about an incredible transition, and I want to show, it has to do with our high gas prices, inflation. I want to show you that, so I'm gonna get you on the screen again so you can see that. Let me pull that over for you.
And when it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition
that is taking place, that God willing, when it's over, we'll be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels when this is over.
So this was just recently. He went and spoke about this transition that they're going to make, and they want to make a transition from fossil fuels to what they call sustainable, wind, solar, which has been proven many times over that it doesn't work in a big form, as big as our country, big as the world. But this is what they're pushing, and basically it is to get rid of currency. They want to get rid of currency. So basically what you have to do is you got to drive up the price of things that are valuable, like oil. We can make money off oil. You can be independent off oil. You can be independent country if you have oil and energy, which we were doing a couple of years ago. And we were actually exporting oil around the world, which kept our gas prices low. And anybody knows you're a manufacturer of something and you're not having to import things, it keeps your prices low and keeps your unemployment low as well. But of course, they changed that when they got in, and this is what we have today. So that is what's going on in the nutshell. So with that being said, I have some scriptures that I want to show you that have to coincide with this. Why are you talking about this, R.D. Smith? Well, the reason I'm talking about this because this is Independence Day, but they don't want us to be independent. It is all the rules, okay? They want us to be dependent. Even though we're celebrating independence, they want us to be dependent on the world stage with Europe, Britain, Germany, all these other countries that we're supposed to be allies with. They want us to be dependent upon them, okay? And that's why you have these high gas prices. He just said we're transitioning. He said it out of his own mouth. We are transitioning. We want to make sure that everybody is in line with this thing, linear. They're going to have your hierarchy and then you have everybody else. And that's what they want. And I'll prove it to you in the scriptures. So without any further ado, let's go to the scriptures, and I'm gonna pray real quick before we get into this, and we're gonna go right into that. Father, I thank you for this wonderful day, this wonderful weekend, as you bless our ears to hear and bless our feet to walk and do and our hands to perform it in Jesus' name. And everybody said amen. So let's go, if you will, to Daniel chapter 7. We're gonna go to Daniel chapter 7 verse 7, and I will put that on the screen for you so you can read along with me. Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. We'll start here at my cursor where you saw that pop up. It says, after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, terrifying and dreadful and exceedingly strong. It had great iron teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces and stamped what was left with its feet. It was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Okay, so this is the prophet Daniel. He's during the time of Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon, and he's one of his officials, and he has a vision, very devout man, has a vision of the last days of this one world government, if you will. And he's seeing this, and he's trying to explain it to us in this writing to see, so he can show us what is going to happen. Now, let's continue in verse 8 because it gets even better. I'll pull it back on the screen and let you see and scroll it up. So here in verse 8, if you look, I'll scroll it up for you there right at my cursor here. You can see that verse 8 says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came among them another horn, a little one, before which 3 of the first horns were plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Now let's scroll down to verse 19, if you will. Verse 19 says right here, says, then I desired to know the truth about the fourth beast, which was different from all the rest, exceedingly terrifying, with its teeth and the iron, and teeth of iron and claws of bronze, which devoured and broke in pieces and stamped what was left with its feet. And about the 10 horns that were on its head, and the other horn that came up, and before which 3 of them fell, the horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke great things, and that seemed greater than its companions. Now let's go to verse 25, or 21 rather, through 25. As I looked, this horn made war, watch this, with the saints and prevailed over them until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given for the saints of the Most High. And the time came when the saints possessed the kingdom. Now, verse 23 says this. Thus he said, as for the 4th beast, there shall be a 4th kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all the kingdoms, and it shall devour the whole earth and trample it down and break it to pieces. Now, verse 24 says this. As for the 10 horns, out of this kingdom 10 kings shall rise, and another shall rise after them. He shall be different from the former ones, and shall put down the 3 kings. Now, he's talking about the Antichrist here. Now, look at verse 25. He shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out, look at that, wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change, watch this, think to change the times and the law. And they shall be given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time. Okay? So here is a prophecy, a vision seen by Daniel, and the angels interpreting it that for him, to see that this Antichrist is going to come. Okay, now he's not called the Antichrist here, but he's called the little horn. And in the Revelations, we're going to see it's basically the Antichrist, and he's going to be in power for a time, times, and half a time. Now, what that means is time is 1 year, times is 2 years rather, and half a time is 6 months. So about 3.5 years, this Antichrist, this official, this king, if you will, is going to be ruling over the world. Now, in order to get to him, you have to have precedents. You have to have things set up in the world stage so that his entrance could be easier, if you will, and not so abrupt. Because right now they're preparing us for this. They have been doing it for many, many years. But before we get into some of the things that I really want to bring, let's go to Revelations chapter 13. And I'm going to show you a little deeper what's going on. Revelations chapter 13. And I'm scrolling down there for you. I'm getting that real quick for you. Just give me a moment as I get Revelations chapter 13. And we're going to start at verse 11. That's Revelations chapter 13. And we're going to start at verse 11. So here we go. Let me go to the middle screen for you. And it says this. Then I saw another beast rising out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon. Now, this is the vision or that John the Revelator had, or John had, about the false prophet. Now, look at verse 12. It exercises all the authority of the first beast in its presence, and makes the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose mortal wound was healed. Now look at verse 13. It performs great signs, even making fire come down from heaven to the earth in front of people, in front of crowds. Look at verse 14. And by the signs that it is allowed to work in the presence of the beast, it deceives those who dwell on earth, telling them to make an image for the beast that was wounded by the sword and yet lived. So there's going to be some type of assassination attempt on his life, the Antichrist. Now look at verse 15. And it was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast might even speak and might cause those who are who could not worship the image of the beast to be slain. Wear out the saints. Okay, look at verse 16. Also, it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is, of course, 666. Okay, so what's going on here? How do we correlate that with the current events and things that we've seen in the video? Well, this is what they're doing. Because of rising gas prices, rising inflation, they're saying or showing that this form of government, this form of economy is not viable, that it's failing, and it's being done on purpose, okay, so that people will not trust in it, if you will. So they're going to put in a type of economy that is not currency based. Now, if you notice, over many years, I would say, man, maybe the last 20 more years, we've been, maybe longer than that, since I think the 90s, we've gone to, cards, debit cards that we have. So we don't use currency as much, dollar bills, nickels, dimes, quarters, those type of things. We tend to use, and I do myself, cards. We swipe, we have a chip, and it has all the information on that. Excuse me. Now, at the same time, this mark, if you will, that's on the hand or on the forehead, will have, and it's already been used and tested out on children. It's been tested out on automobiles. It's been tested out on animals. Okay, and it has all your information on that chip, and it can go under the skin. Matter of fact, there are gentlemen that have already tested this chip out, and they have it in their hands. There's businesses that are wanting to put those chips in their employees, so it has all their information there, so they can have security when they go in and out of the doors or the offices. So this is already in play, guys. This is nothing new. And this is what they want to do. In that chip, again, we'll have all your information, your number. So there's in the barcode, and everybody knows about a barcode because not all of us are employees now, part-time at our grocery stores. We have to, scan in everything, except for Publix, where we are. Publix still does most of the scanning for you, but in Walmart and other stores, you got to scan everything yourself. So we kind of know how to do it. We scan it on the platform there, and we have a little gun, and we beep beep, makes all that noise, and it tells you on the screen everything about that product, including the price that you are purchasing. And it's going to have, that's the same technology that would be in the hand or the forehead. It would be under the skin, and you can take it anywhere you want in order to buy or sell something. You have that ability. Okay, now, remember, I think it was earlier this year or maybe even last year, there was a push for the IRS to have taxes levied on anybody that makes over $600 on any purchase. Now, when that happened, I was alarmed because I knew what was going on. Before, it was like $20,000 or $10,000, somewhere about that. That if you were about $10,000, you would have to give an account, pay taxes on that type of transaction. If you went through Cash App or things of that nature, you would have to do that. So what's going on now? What they want to do, everything from $600 and up, you would have to pay like a 15%, because it's like a 1099. You would have to pay 15% income tax on that, because that's the one that's selling the product would have to pay about a 15% income tax on that money, and then they're going to try to tax the person who's actually purchasing it. But they haven't been able to do that yet, but that's coming. They're going to have a tax on that as well. So this is the things that are happening right before our eyes. So what they want to do is devalue the currency. That's why you have cryptocurrency. You got all these electronic things going on in society. They're gearing us toward, they want to get rid of money, because if you have cash, you can't trace cash as easily as you can trace computers. Okay. That's why even with the electric vehicle with Tesla, it's like having a cell phone on wheels. You can trace that car everywhere. They don't want you to be able to have the freedom or the independence that we're celebrating to go anywhere you want without anybody knowing. They want to know what you're doing at every moment. And this is why you see a lot of policies coming in trying to regulate people through their day. Okay, so cell phones, we already know that they can be traced. Okay, you could be tracing your cell phone. It's like having a LoJack system with you. We all understand that. But the same thing they can do with these electric vehicles. Porsche, Ford, GM, they all can do this, as well as Tesla, of course. And they can know where you're going at all times to regulate your movements. Okay. This is what they're trying to do. Some of you probably say, "Man, you're crazy." No, this is true. Ask anybody that owns a Tesla, knows anything about Tesla or electric vehicles. They can upload information or take information away from your car at will. One of the things that they can do with the Tesla, for instance, is they can have supercharging or have regular charging, and you would have to purchase that from them. You could do it right online inside the car, and then they can make your car ready or able to be supercharged. This is what they are doing, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not getting on again Biden or anybody like that. This is just the way it is, and this is the truth. This is gearing us towards the Antichrist, and it's coming soon. Okay, he's coming very soon. So what about that number 666? Basically, that barcode, and I did a study on this, and I think I'm going to upload some of the teachings I did in the past to my Throwback Thursday on this channel, so you can start seeing some of that old stuff and get involved and see what I was talking about. But that 666, if you look at a barcode, it has numbers 013 whatever on it. You calculate those numbers, and I have the formula for that, and it comes up with a number of that item. So that item has a specific number that cannot be duplicated with another item. So because of that type of system has been evolved to encompass humans. And this gentleman, the Antichrist, will have this number, and his number of that system will come out. That's why it says those that have wisdom, and wisdom means understanding, will calculate that number to be 666. So his number is 666. So that's how you can tell he's the Antichrist. Now that'd be hard to do unless you swipe it and know, but there are people in this world are gonna know his number and probably know it already, know who he is. Okay, but he will be revealed to some of these things. Now I'm not here this morning to go through in depth in a lot of those things, but just wanted to cover some of the things that are going on to just let you know that this liberal world order is for real. Okay, that's why you see what's going on in the United States. They don't want us to be powerful because, see, we were the superpower of the world for many, many years. They're trying to degrade us so we can be linear with everybody else, and so that this powerful person will come along and then lead us and guide us to wherever they want us to be guided. Now, there is a scripture in Revelation chapter 14. I'm not going to turn there, but it talks about those of the saints will not take the mark of the beast. Now, there are going to be people. See, this is where God is going to separate the wheat from the chaff. And you're going to see those that really know the Lord and those that just know him by name. Okay. And the ones that really know the Lord are not going to take this because they are knowledgeable. They understand the word of God. Those that don't really know the Lord, or just call themselves Christians or whatever, or believers, whatever you can call it, they're going to take the mark because their dependence is going to be upon man and not upon God. Okay. So that's all in a nutshell that's going on with this thing. I thought it would be good, and I think it is apropos to show this today, being 4th of July weekend and Independence Day, showing how our government is at work. They're trying to take our independence away. little bit by little bit by little bit. It's like this. The old adage is, if you want to cook a frog, because they jump around, put him in cold water first and gradually turn up the heat of the pot until he's cooked. And he won't even know he's cooked until it's too late. Well, that's what they're doing. Well, without anything else to say, I think I covered everything with you today. I pray that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, a wonderful 4th of July. Hey, let's get our party in while we have a chance. And I will see you again on next week.